What up, guys? Hope everything's going well. I wanted to do a sports card video update. And I wanted to look at this one investor, Vegas Dave, who made a killing in the sports card market. He indicated that this sports card market is in a bubble and it's going to melt down like subprime. Okay, that's the long story short. And what I'd like to say is those two markets are different. The sports card market versus the housing market. Here's one of the difference. Everyone from your mom, your dad, to your family members, to your siblings, they were investing in the housing markets. Well, I was a little younger, so, my siblings weren't investing in the housing market at the time. But definitely my parents, they wanted to speculate. They wanted to buy a new home in 2008. I told my parents, hell to the no. Don't do it. Do not move. 2007. It's a good thing they didn't move because housing prices went down until 2011, 2012. So that's one difference. It's that the demographics was completely different because everyone was involved in that market versus sports card. You tend to see males of all backgrounds in the 30s and 40s mainly playing around with sports cards because this is what we did as kids, right? Whether you got cards hand down from your cousin like me, or you were just buying cards at the store, opening packs. It was a hobby. People older than me definitely were involved. People definitely were involved in buying all these cards, the Jeter 93 SP and whatnot. Now, I want to look at a similarity, though, between the housing crash and what I believe the sports card market will crash. But I think it's going to be more of a balloon effect, as Dr. James Beckett, the founder of Beckett, this is what he said. He believes it's going to be a balloon. But in terms of the housing market versus the sports card market, one of the reasons why it's been fueled, especially since 2009, the sports card market, is the Federal Reserve has kept interest rates artificially low. They've injected so much monopoly money into the system, and that monopoly money is going into fine arts, going into collectibles, and it did go into gold as well from 2009. And if you want to look at the science behind it, right, you keep interest rates too low for too long, eventually, the chickens will come home to roost. The whole system is going to wind down. And we're going to see a significant correction, but I don't see that correction in the sports card market for at least the next few years. So 2023, 2024, I think that's when we'll see a topping process. I could be wrong. Don't invest based on that. Don't invest based on what I'm saying. Do your own homework, and whatnot. And I do feel the market is frothy, and I'm taking some measures right now just to protect myself, just in case the card bubble does burst all of a sudden. I don't think it's going to do that this year, though. But what I'm doing is I'm selling these cards. I sold a rookie PSA 6 Brady because it was frothy. Bought a few $100, sell it at 800. I think that was a good arbitrage, just holding it for about a year. But what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at cards where everybody is not looking. Right now, there is a shift into Marvel, okay? Because some Marvel movies are going to come out. But, no one really is looking at a few things. And I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. And I don't suggest you buy these. You could definitely do your own homework because I don't know what the demand of these will be in the future. Right now, I don't see any demand. Okay? I got this for $10. It's a Fred Flintstone card. PSA 8. And, population size is low. No one's talking about the Flintstones. So that's why I bought it. And, if you were to buy a card right now or on eBay. You know, you have to pay what, $5 to $10. You got to send the PSA. You got to pay shipping. So right away, just to get a card graded, you have to pay $70, and I got that card for $10. So, you know, the cost of it, in my opinion, was a good bet. Now the question is, will there be demand in this? I don't know. It's a 1960s card. You know, here are a few other things. You know, 1956 Elvis Presley, PSA 6. You know, there's a bunch of cards of Elvis right now that no one is looking at. Unfortunately, the camera can't get a good view of this PSA 6. But anyways, you know, he's going to come out with a documentary, I believe, in the next 1 to 2 years. So, you know, you could see something, you know, crazy prices going with Elvis cards, you know. And, you know, the last thing is, in terms of, you know, sports-related cards or Disney-related cards or entertainment-related cards, is Mickey Mouse. I'm kidding. I'm not joking. You can laugh at me all you want. It's a PSA 9, came in the mail from 1930s. So I noticed a few things. There's this one dealer, Four Sharp Corners. I've bought from them, or we bought from them. We've resold those cards as well. And I've noticed that some of their Mickey Mouse cards from the 1930s, they saw there were all these watchers. I think there were like more than 10 watchers, and you know, some PSA 4s from 1935 sold for over $200. And it depends, you know, the demand of the card. But I'm just thinking, like, wait, what happens when a Disney movie comes out? They're working on Peter Pan. I bought a Peter Pan PSA 8. So are people going to go into that? So what I'm doing, you know, we could have a bubble, right? Like I'm saying. I estimated 2 years. And in the meantime, you know, I could take profits off of cars that I feel that are frothy, even though I think I may lose out on some money because, you know, these cars probably may double that I've sold. But I want to get into some items where, you know, I'm not going to lose that much, in my opinion. What? I bought a $10 Flintstones card. What? No one will want it? Okay. You know, it's $10, you know. That's what I'm trying to reinvest it on. I'm not trying to chase some of these cards right now. I've toned it down. I want to look for deals, then get into it. And I think a lot of money is chasing into it because, you know, we're getting these stimulus checks. The Fed's printing monopoly money. So, you know, people are trying to get the card, then flip it, and the other flippers are doing it and whatnot. The last thing I'm looking at is completely different from graded entertainment cards, and it's actually graded silver, you know. No one in the sports card arena talks about graded silver, but, you know, I'm trying to look at the same strategy. This is a 1986 MS69, which is like a PSA 9, and this is autographed by the chief engraver, I believe. Yeah, she's the 12th chief engraver. So let me tell you a story. I did a video on my other channel about this. So this was actually these eagles, silver eagles, which have a high population size. The population size is 68,000, something ridiculous. But with this over here, here's a caveat. This has struck at San Francisco. What the hell does that mean? Some people are saying. Well, all these silver eagles back in the day, everyone thought that they were minted at Philadelphia, mainly, and some at West Point if they had demand issues. Because West Point, you know, carries the load when Philadelphia has supply chain shortages or problems at their plant. But here's the deal. Last year, there was a Freedom of Information Act, and that Freedom of Information Act stated that these were actually minted in San Francisco. So, long story short, all these silver eagles that were graded from 86, which I called the rookie year, they were labeled incorrectly back in the day. And this is actually labeled correctly, so I would have to imagine this was graded within the last year, and it's also a signature. So going back to the sports card arena, right? We know that if it's a rookie that's high in demand and there's an autograph on top of it, what happens to the price of that card? Over time, it's going to go crazy, right? Just imagine if you had a Michael Jordan autograph for your 1986 PSA 9. What happened to the price? It'd go bonkers, right? A PSA 9 right now is going for at least $40,000. I think it's much higher than that now. $50,000. And if you add an autograph, that'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm looking at silver. I'm like, wait, silver is what, $27 an ounce? And I believe it'll go higher with more stimulus from the Biden administration and more lack of confidence in the government by most of the American people. So that's why I'm bullish on silver. And, a lot of people go into silver eagles, but they don't really go into graded silver. And a lot of people don't know the secret that all these silver eagle rookies were minted in San Francisco. So what I'm trying to say, going back to the bubble, right? I want to get into collectibles that a lot of people are not talking about. Everyone's talking now about Marvel. I missed the boat on Marvel. I thought the supply was, hard to find, and it may have been overpriced. And I didn't know too much about Marvel cards. That's not my forte. If I got into it like 2 years ago, a year ago, that would have been great. But right now, I just don't feel comfortable putting money into it because I don't know what will be in demand. And right now, I'm just looking at, okay, after Marvel, what will people look at? Okay, people are investing in sports cars, like a high end right now. They're looking into Marvel. What next? Okay, are they going to look at Elvis, like I said? Are they going to look at Disney in the coming years? Are people eventually going to go into graded coins? I think that's, the type of mentality that we have. We could be like, okay, who cares if there's a bubble? Let's take some of our profits over the next few years and, reinvest it where everything's quiet. And then when the bubble does pop, right, you could put your money back into some of the cards that you were buying earlier. You could look at some Brady's. You could look at some Mahomes cards. You could look at, some Gretzky cards if you have the money. So that's the way that I'm thinking. I'm not thinking, in the mentality that, oh man, I'm going to lose all my money in the sports card arena. No, I'm getting prepared. There's nothing wrong in, preparing for this. Or, I don't like false hope. But at the same time, we shouldn't be, totally cynical about, oh man, the whole stock market's going to crash. Oh no, the sports card market's going to crash. Okay, that's going to happen. What can we do about it to prepare in advance? And that's what I'm looking at. And, going back to a few other videos, I think the sports card market is trading right in line with the stock market. Obviously, sports card returns have been phenomenal for the upper end echelon ones. And I would highly recommend you guys to look at this one guy in the stock market. He's Avi Gilbert. And, if you want to have a time frame, this guy's been spot on, not spot on. He's been more right than wrong. And he's talking about, maybe next few years going to be good for the stock market. So I'm looking at, okay, stock market going to be good for the next few years. So it should be the same thing for the card market, because the card market bottomed in March of last year, right at the time the stock market bottomed. So, this is what I'm looking at. I don't know what you guys think. I know some of you guys just look strictly from a collectibles perspective. That's fine, I want people to comment, give feedback, and, let me know what you think about this. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.